other. That's why we ask the Lord to give us discernment so that we can pick up on those little subtleties and plays on words. But she fell for a hook, line, and sinker, because then, of course, he said, you ain't going to die. Right? Girl, you ain't going to die. You're just going to be like the Lord. You're going to be as wise as God. And she was like, okay, so the fruit look good.
And I need all this wisdom.
And I want the wisdom. So let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. You know.
Come on.
And but that isn't that how the enemy do us, you know. We're pretty much drawn away by our own
lust. That's the word.
And all it takes is a little bit of subtlety to get us there.
A little leaven at the whole lump.
Well, yeah.
Women and men, I'm trying to tell you right now, quit at you. I know I'm talking about single people now. Single people, divorced people, whatever, separated. And I know, some of y'all want to be with other people. You want to be with, Jack, Jill, Sally, and Mary. You better start watching and hearing what they really are saying. And ask some serious questions. If I don't mind telling my age, I'm 52 years old. If I had the wisdom and the knowledge that I did now, I declare I would not have made some of the mistakes that I did. Dealing with how men have played me, and not only men played me, I played some too. I played some men because I could. Didn't think nothing of it. But it's wrong because people's hearts and feelings are at stake. And it carries on into other relationships. And if they have kids, it will also affect children. So we have to be careful of who we entertain and how they speak to us. I mean, ask some hard questions. Don't be just taking what they say. Especially, oh Lord, this one I like. Especially if you go to church, they put the scriptures on you, and then come on, they want to put the scriptures on you and like they all so this with the Lord. I'm talking about people in the church. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, they do it probably worse than the people that don't go.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's happening.
And then what happens is you start to know them, and then they say, it's okay for us to, do this and that and the other. It's okay for us because, we're God's children. And the word is meant for us. Yeah, the word is meant for you. And God will forgive. But we're not doing anything wrong because we are really trying to build a bond so that we can do something and be with each other forever.
Don't believe it.
And then the same thing that he or her is telling you, they telling somebody else.
Somebody else. Don't believe it.
Where they say self.
Don't fall for
it. I'm not dating just to be dating. I'm dating because I want to be married. But you dating Sally, you dating Susan, you dating Marie, and then you're dating somebody at your office.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. I'll give her say there's sometimes they be dating John.
Oh, Lord, leave John alone. Dating John too. Dating the women and John. That's another story. Oh, we gonna get into that. Oh, she bitches something. She going beyond.
It's the truth.
And then, come on, women. And women with your cute self, with your weave in place. But you want to shout real pretty in church with your stilettos on. So stuck can jig. Oh, she's got the spirit. And then when you go out on your dates and stuff, you talking to Mike, you talking to Billy, you talking to, and still with the Lord. But Mike and Billy and John don't know anything about you talking to either one of them. but you looking for your husband. You ain't supposed to be looking anyway.
No.
The man's supposed to be finding you. Quit trying to look.
But we forever looking though. Now I'm just saying we be looking. Stop looking, ladies. Stop looking.
I saw on Facebook. Did you see this post on Facebook? I don't know. Saw on Facebook. Somebody put on Facebook. It was a woman. Put it on Facebook and saying that they looking for a good man and a date. God, no, they were telling God to send them a good man and a date. This is the stuff I'm talking about. What is your motive? God ain't gonna do that because you feel alone.
Help us, Lord.
Anyway,
we
need some help. we gonna move it right along because deception is so broad, and even I have been in a fraudulent. Not me. I was the victim of a fraudulent situation. Yeah. Before dealing with somebody trying to scam. Not only scamming my emotions, but even go to the point of trying to scam all the stuff you work for.
Yeah. And it's sad because you see it's happening more and more and more prevalent. And then, the reports of women who have actually committed suicide behind being frauded. And that is really, it's so sad that people set out to do people harm, because really they are setting out to do harm.
That is because they want, again, they manipulate to have control for selfish gain. Mm-hmm. That's also in the book too. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I want to do not, and I caution women and men, because men have been frauded by women or so-called women. Believe it or not, you don't know. Sometimes you don't even know if they're men or women, especially if they don't show themselves. Yeah. But what I'm saying, be very cautious, men, women, even children. I'm talking about teens where parents let them have ample access on the internet. Yeah. And y'all doing this online dating. Yeah, it does work for some people, but be very cautious. Because whether you know it or not, billions and billions of dollars have been given to people by fraudulent means, by going on dating websites, finding, quote unquote, people that are, I don't want to use the word gullible, but don't know any better.
Yeah, and they have the catfishing, the romance scam. Catfishing, when somebody presents themselves to be, they'll pull somebody else's photo and put it up there and act like they're that person, and it's not.
And it's not.
Then you have, of course, the romance scams and all of that. So deception is running rampant. I'll just say that. People
are making money off of this thing. Mm-hmm. Be careful on this online dating. Whether I don't care if it's Christian Mingle. I don't care if it's Christian Mingle. They do it there. They do it on eHarmony. Look, be very careful. If they can't show their face to you, and then I'm gonna tell you, don't go for these foolish ways that they say, oh, I don't have good internet.
But you all up here now though.
I don't have good internet. Be very cautious. The devil don't care who he sees, so he can devour.
And then also too with our younger men and women, these social media sites, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which I hear that the younger people are not on Facebook anymore. This is for the old people like me. But these sites where older people are going and presenting themselves and acting like they are the age of these teenagers. And then this is how young girls are being abducted, and we've seen it on the news several times where young girls have left home to meet somebody who they think is their age, but come to find out it's somebody older. There are a lot of pedophiles out there. There are a lot of perverts out there who don't mind deceiving these young people to draw them away from safety. And so we have to be careful, even as parents, of what, and not just allowing our children free and open access to that media without at least checking in with them and seeing who they're talking to and that type of thing, because they could think they're talking to another 15-year-old and it could be a 45-year-old man or woman.
And literally, with this internet thing, they can, because of the satellites, they can locate. And they could be following and you don't even know nothing about it. Okay, you got to locate on your phone and all your stuff, but we're going to keep moving. But be careful, because they don't care. They don't care. They have a spirit of deception, and the only thing they are looking to do is to gain some type of control for their selfish reason. But there are 6 different types of deception, and we want to hit on every one of them. We already talked about self-deception a little bit. The first one is dissimulation. And we talked about that too. Dissimulation is masking, hiding, being misrepresenting something, pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. It's another word for hypocrisy. Ooh, got a lot of hypocrites.
Unfortunately.
Acting like you all that and you aren't. Telling people you got this, that, and the other. Oh, I got a big house, cost this and that and the other. And you sitting up here in an apartment. And you haven't worked since COVID. I'm just saying. This is also within the body of Christ. I put down here, dissimulation, because Romans 12:9 says, let love be without dissimulation. Meaning, let love be without hypocrisy, and don't misrepresent your love. That's the reason why. That's the reason why love ain't blind. Love will not mask itself to fool you into something that is not.
Well,
will it?
It will not.
It will not. Love is blind. Get that out your mind. Quit lying to yourself.
Self-deception.
Next one is propaganda. Information of misleading nature used to promote a particular point of view. Disinformation of facts to persuade opinion of another. As Yvette said earlier, it's a half-truth. A half-truth is still wood.
A lie.
It's a lie. And this is the simple version. And it also goes around and in church too, around offices and the water cooler, rumors. Rumors is a part of propaganda. You got anything to say on propaganda?
Well, when I think about propaganda, it's when, not only in relationships, but in relationships when you are really trying to use lies and deception to persuade someone that you are a certain way and you're not. If that makes sense, that you're presenting, and you go to great lengths, and that's propaganda. But also, outside of relationships, propaganda, we see it every day. If you look at the news, if you read news online, if you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram. To me, all of that is a form of propaganda. And it's really, people post things to persuade others to believe something that may not be altogether true. People post lies just because they're trying to, and it's very prevalent nowadays in politics. It's very prevalent
with companies.
I mean, people just post things, and a lot of times, and I've been guilty. I will be the first one to admit that I have been guilty of reposting things that come to find out they're not even true. Because I haven't taken the time to look into it and do any research on it and find out it's not even true. So that's very prevalent. That propaganda news to me sometimes, and I know our former president used to talk about fake news, and and I will be the first to admit even there that to dismiss it, but when you start looking at other things besides just our local news, and you find out that, okay, there's always a slant that is propaganda.
Yeah.
When there's a slant to make you think a certain way, there's a slant to make you feel a certain way or act a certain way. Just like just recently, we're expecting my first grandbaby. I started looking at baby stuff online. So now every time I go on Facebook or anywhere, any of the platforms, that's all I'm seeing. And the purpose of that is to get you to act, to spend your money. So people use, and then not even just that. The people advertising stuff, and they present it one way, you order it and it come to you and it's something different. So there's a lot of deception just going on. It's just wreaking havoc at this time.
And let me piggyback on that. And this is so true. But when you have put your financial information, because we tech savvy, we done order stuff online and putting our credit cards and stuff out there. Let me help you out. There are people that are phishing.
Yes.
They are phishing, and they will act like a company that is legitimate. If you don't know how to recognize like the links, that there's something wrong with the links of them trying to portray a real company like Amazon, you will click on that link and then act like you ordering something, and they got your information and they done took all your money out your account. Propaganda. Yes. Scamming you.
Yeah.
Acting like something that they're really not, just to get something out of you and from you. And you left distraught. With people of God, I'm going to tell you, as far as the Bible tells us in 2 Peter 2, 1 through 2, there will be many false teachers among us. They will cleverly, listen to this word, teach cleverly. What is clever? It's cunning. It's crafty. It's deception. Teach destructive hearsays. Not to the people of God.
Yeah. To the people of God.
Many will follow their evil teaching and shameful immorality. And because of these teachers, the way of truth will be slandered.
So that's that believing the lie is the truth and the truth
is the lie. And believe it or not, we do that even in relationships. Yeah. People will be lying to our face and we believe it.
Yes.
That's where we need to ask God every day for discernment and wisdom.
Discernment and wisdom.
Wisdom is the principal thing, and with all thou getting, get some understanding.
Yes.
Don't just don't listen. Hear. Have your ears open to hear and discern what people are saying. Number 3. The third type of deception, sleight of hand or slate of hand. That's being a double dealer. We ain't playing cards. Trickery. Being crafty, as the serpent was with the woman, as we just read. He beguiled her, and she did eat. And I'm also tell you about 2 Samuel. This is probably one of my best, and we're gonna bring it to a close. 2 Samuel 13 regarding Amnon, David's son, and Tamar, his daughter.
Oh gosh.
How
Yes.
it said that he that was his
He
sister.
feigned sickness.
He wanted her, he loved her so much that his cousin or his best friend told him, look, if you want her that bad, look at all this deception. If you want her that bad, you need to have your father tell her to come fix you some food and pretense, all of these, to be sick. And then when she come in, do what you do. So he did that. David told Tamar to go and tend to her brother. And when she got there, she fixed the food. He wouldn't even eat it because he didn't want it. He loved her so much. She must have been a beautiful woman. Said that she told him, begged him, if you ask of my father to give me to you, he will.
He will do it.
But he ended up raping his own sister. This is in the Bible. That's in 2 Samuel.
She's in the book. She's in the book.
And then it said, after he raped her, he hated her just as much as he loved her before. Then he didn't even want her. After he got what he wanted, he dismissed her.
Yep.
That girl was in shambles and stayed with her older brother in seclusion the rest of her life. This is in the Word. This happens today. This happens today in relationships. People being deceived. They're saying one thing and then they get you entrapped, ensnared.
Once they get what they want.
And you can't, and that's it. And you left with anxiety. And some women and even men, don't think it won't happen to men. It happens to men too. They end up going into psychological treatment. Some even commit suicide. This is real.
It's traumatizing. Of course, in this case, with the story of Anna and Tamar, she was traumatized about what he did to her, and he said he loved her, but I mean, that's not love. That's lust. That is lust, and because as soon as he got what he wanted, he could have married her and kept her if he loved her.
No, he probably could have kept.
See, that's what I'm saying right there. We have to be careful, when, because sometimes, to be honest, people tell you they love you. They're saying it with their mouth, but their actions are showing you differently. And that's when you have to not just go by what they say, but look at what they're doing and how they're treating you.
The last three, and we already talked about, one of them is self-deception, and Yvette talked about that. Our number 4, or number 5, because I already mentioned self-deception, is distraction, which is diversion, confusion, deflection.
God is not the author of confusion.
To bend or to steer away from the real truth. That is distraction. Distraction is a deceptive tool. When you're trying to confuse and deflect. When somebody asks you, that's one thing I want to tell you right now. If you're asking somebody a question that you're in a relationship with, and they deflect and try to put it back on you, just know.
That's also called gaslighting.
Come on.
Because God gives us discernment, and when you're discerning something is not right, and you go to that person and they, and you ask them the question, and they throw it back on you to make you feel like you're just being crazy. Or you quote unquote tripping, that's called gaslighting. And so they are deflecting it back to you, because then you walk away from the conversation feeling like, okay, I'm just tripping.
Let me tell you this right now. Walk away from it. Don't let nobody do that to you. You ain't crazy. Because if you was, you'd be in the hospital on somebody's couch talking about all the things in your past. You ain't crazy.
Yeah.
Number 6. Deception is camouflage or concealment. Oh my God. To cover up something, to veil it, so that it won't be seen. to keep something hidden or in the dark.
Mm.
Luke 12:2-3 said, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed.
And I'm a living witness.
Or-
I am a living witness.
Or hidden that will not be made known. One thing, God is not going to let his children, if you really want to know truth, God will not let his children be in the dark. Now, if you choose to be in the dark, then that's on you. We all got a will.
And you know, the thing about it is, and what I have learned is that really and truly praying, we pray for discernment and wisdom. We also can pray that God expose any self-deception. We can also pray that God expose any lies or facade in our lives, and that includes that would include in every area.
Mm-hmm.
That will include with the people that you are in a relationship, whether you are married, whether you are in a relationship and you're not married, but you're in a committed relationship with someone, your children,
Mm-hmm.
in every area of your life. When you start praying and asking God to reveal to you the areas where you have been deceived, oh my God, he will do it. You just have to be ready, because he will do it.
He'll do it.
And the thing about it is, you can't build anything on a lie.
On a lie.
And you can't build anything on deception. You can try, because I can be honest, I've tried. But it ultimately, the truth comes out. My grandmother used to tell me all the time, what you do in the dark will come to the light. And especially if you call yourself a Christian, a child of God. And Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. So, if you want a close fellowship, then the deception has to go. It has to go. And in that process might not be quick, it might not be pleasant, but it is for your good. Mm-hmm.
And again, you must be ready. when things are exposed, you need to be ready.
Yeah.
You need to be ready. Not saying that every relationship has a deception.
That's right.
But we're trying to give you the information so that you know what deception looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That you can notice red flags. Because a lot of times we miss the red flags.
That's right.
And it doesn't make you gullible or stupid. It's just
It
that
happens.
sometimes we may be so involved that we just get so entangled and engrossed in our own feelings. And don't allow, when the red flag is being revealed and you see it for what it is, don't even be self-deceived.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we say, oh, I love him or I love her. Come on now. You still want to be hurt. You actually need to be talked to. You need some counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say counseling, it don't have to be a psychologist or anybody like that. You need to be accountable to somebody to help you see your worth.
That's right.
Because if you still want to be deceived, that means you don't know who you are.
That's right.
And you don't know your worth. And you're valuable. You're valuable to the people around you. You're valuable to God.
That's right.
And know that you're valuable even to your own self. There's purpose in every person that is living. There's purpose in you.
Yeah.
You have destiny.
Absolutely.
So don't let deception detour you from what you are meant to do with your life. So we thank you for joining us today on Soul Ties